Radio Rahim with Terrence Crawford here in England, Manchester to be exact. I've seen you internationally now more than domestically.
Right, man. What you doing with yourself, man? You all over the world.
I am chasing this sport of boxing wherever it happens, and you always turn up where it's happening. You know, I remember a time when I was covering Canelo, and he was climbing to be the #1 fighter in the world. And what happens is other fighters see your success and want to emulate it. They want to understand where the magic is coming from and come to your trainer, come to your camp, come to you even in person for instruction or some kind of help to better their career or fix their problems. Are you having that experience on a regular basis now?
Yeah, you know, fighters that see another fighter being successful and they wonder, like, what is this guy doing to be so great? You know, so, you know, we always was open arms to any fighter, you know, not no hater, like we want to hold it all in or anything, you know. Welcome to come and train or get knowledge or, you know, ask questions of any sort of anything, you know, and we always was willing to give out, you know, our advice on things.
Now, Amir Khan, obviously this is a unique situation because you beat him yourself. You beat the opponent he's facing Saturday night. How did that relationship become what it is now from having TKO'd him?
Man, actually, it's crazy. You know, when Bomac told me, he was like, man, I'm thinking about training Amir Khan. I was like, what? When that come about? He was like, man, they reached out. I was like, oh, that's tight. You know what I mean? Train him, you know what I mean? He was like, yeah, I'm gonna invite him down, see how he like it. You know, if he like to work, then, you know, we'll working with him. So when he came in, you know, everybody was just open arms, like, hey, what up, man, Amir? You know, and I think he was kind of surprised, like, because he didn't know what to expect. But, you know, Omaha, we open arms to anybody. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? You know, everything good? So it just became like he liked the vibe, he liked the feeling, and then, you know, once he came back, you know, we just got right to it.
Did you guys spar in preparation for this fight?
Yeah, we sparred a couple of rounds. You know, I think we sparred twice, you know, so, yeah.
I heard it got heated. You tell me what that sparring session was like.
No, I never got heated.
I don't mean like heated like you guys were adversarial, but like it was an intense sparring session. You guys weren't just touching and moving.
I wouldn't say all that, you know. We moved around, you know. I try to pressure him a little bit, like, I'll try to imitate, you know, what Brook could do in certain situations, you know. So I was just there for his work to help him, you know, in this fight, not help myself in that situation.
Amir Khan has had a ton of big fights. Mm-hmm. Some went his way, some didn't. He's grabbed for the huge stage at higher weight divisions. Is there anything that having him in camp you can learn from him and his trajectory of his career or even his style?
Yeah, you can learn from anybody. You know, I learn from amateurs, you know, so having a guy like Amir Khan in your camp, you know, can only help you and improve things that you need to improve, like, say, if you're fighting somebody that's fast and, you know, with his type of style. And not just, you know, sparring, like mentally, you know, y'all pushing each other, you know, when y'all running, when y'all doing the strength and conditioning workouts, you know, y'all right there side by side, you know, because all in all, you know, he's been a world champion, I'm a world champion, and we both know what it takes to get to that level, you know, of the top of the top. So it's good to have somebody right there next to you pushing you, you know, to go that extra inch and that extra mile.
Now, what I meant career-wise is that we're here for a fight that everybody wished had happened 10 years ago. In the same way that everybody wishes that we could be talking about Spence Crawford at least in 2022.
Right.
Do you have any concern that maybe 10 years from now we'll be sitting here talking about Crawford Spence when it's later than everybody had hoped? And
10 years, I won't even be in boxing no more. No.
So this being the big fight, like they say this fight could define either guy's career after all they've done individually. How can you have the confidence that you won't end up in that same situation with Spence?
Because if it don't happen, then that's out of my control. You know, I can look back at my career and say, look at what I've accomplished, you know, in my career. I can't say the same, you know, for him. He's been at welterweight division his whole career. I moved up, you know, 2 divisions from 135, from 140, then conquered 147, you know. So me personally, I wouldn't say that it did anything to my career but at welterweight. Oh, well, I didn't get that fight at welterweight that I wanted. But all in all, my career has been great.
When you guys are in the same room, on camera together, there is a playful respect and definitely the tension that 2 fighters will have, but not spite like these two. It's not like there's some kind of deep-seated hatred or anything. Can you call Errol Spence? And everybody says fighters can make fights, regardless of promoters and networks. Can you two have a one-on-one?
I did that.
What happened?
Listen, you know, for whatever reason, you know, the fight's not happening. It's not happening. But I do believe the fight. He wants to fight, and I've been wanting to fight. But I think the politics behind, you know, closed doors is the reason why the fight never happened. You know, when you got 2 black fighters, when you got us segregating from, oh, you on top rank, we PBC, and this and that and that and this, everybody bringing up all these excuses instead of coming together, we want to tear each other down. You know, it's crazy, you know, as a black race, you know, for us to always want to tear each other down instead of build each other up. You know, I think that's the only thing that's been basically preventing a fight, because I think if we all came together and said, all right, well, this is the fight we want, you know, and we not supporting no other fight until y'all fight each other, then, you know, that's what we'll get, instead of, oh, we don't need him, or he's the B side or he's the A side, and take this money and take that money 60-40 and all that. You know, that's just, you know, stuff that never was even on the table. You know, people just hear a narrative and then they'll run with it, and then they'll use they network channels to feed that to the people that really don't know boxing, you know, and then that's when you get the narrative, and that's when everybody starts saying this and saying that, and then you get Team Crawford, and you get Team Spence, and then you get his fans, and then you get my fans, and then everybody going against each other, when in reality we should be on the same team. We're trying to make the fight happen.
Have you ever had that conversation with Errol Spence?
Of course.
Like
I said, he's been eager to have the fight as well, you know, but for some odd reason, you know, they veered to do other things, and, you know, I believe the fight will happen, you know. Like he said, you know, he want to fight all those guys and then fight me last. That's the route that he want to do, you know. I'm a straightforward guy. I want to go straight for the head, you know. And that's just me.
That fight everybody and then fight you last, it sounds a lot like the Amir Khan route, which got us here 10 years late.
Right.
And now you have an opportunity that's unique. You're not committed to any promoter. You're one of the top pound-for-pound fighters in the world, if not the top. Nobody can argue that. So it seems like you have the leverage or power in this situation to create your own circumstances now. How can you use that power and leverage to create the circumstances that you want?
Well, you know, just, you know, conversation. You know, conversation with these networks and with these promotional teams that's promoting these individuals that I want to fight. You know, it got to make sense for me in my career, because a lot of promoters are not going to let you just come over there and beat their champion and then just walk away scot-free. You know, it's a business, you know, at the end of the day. And, you know, I don't think, you know, being in that position, they will allow me to come over there and just take a title and just say, all right, this is my title. I can do whatever I want with it. I can go over here, over here, over here. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it's a business, and we'll see how everything plays out.
Well, you're talking like an independent fighter. You're talking like a Canelo type of approach where you don't sign with anybody.
Well, anything. You know, anything. You know, independent or being, you know, with a promotional company. It got to make sense.
What is it about a promotional company that they could bring to the table that says, okay, this is what Crawford is looking for? What makes the difference where you sign with somebody that they could say, we can offer this in this kind of relationship?
Well, that's something that we have to sit down and talk about, you know?
And lastly, we don't know who your next opponent is. I don't know how much that plays into who your next promoter is or not, but we know that Spence is tied up.
Right.
So with that off the table, who do you have your sights set on to get the kind of fights and the kind of visibility that a champion of your stature deserves?
Well, you know, there's a couple of names out there, you know, we looking forward to seeing if we can potentially get a fight with. But, you know, we got to wait and see.
All right, well, we've been waiting, and I hope we see soon. Radio Rahim with Bud, Terrence, Crawford.
Terrence Bud Crawford.
Terrence Bud Crawford. There we go. Thank you, man. Appreciate that.